The Persona 4 remake is real. It's called Persona 4 Revival. We have a lot to talk about. Let's get right on into it. Hello everyone, I am Jmulls. And at the Xbox Game Showcase, they revealed Persona 4 Revival with a 43-second teaser trailer that showed us a lot while also showing us nothing. We got a few brief glimpses at Inaba. The art style, compared to Persona 3 Reload, is very different. And honestly, this was the biggest surprise for me when it comes to Persona 4 Revival. We'll talk about the name in a minute. But for me, I thought they did Persona 3 Reload and went, we can take a lot of this structure, a lot of this backend, and just bring it forward for Persona 4 Remake to get that online as fast as we possibly can before Persona 6 comes out down the line, right? I thought it was going to look visually identical to Persona 3 Reload, or at least extremely similar. I wasn't expecting it to be this distinct and to look this colorful. And honestly, I think it works for Persona 4, because Persona 4, for giant swaths of that experience, it's meant to be more lighthearted, more upbeat, that summertime jam. And well, yeah, they say it's early development content presented in this video is subject to change. I still think overall it looks pretty dang good. And I think the overall aesthetic will match what Persona 4 is going for a lot of those more upbeat and happy-go-lucky and just fun activities that we get up to in Persona 4. My big question though, as is the case with most remakes and remasters, what about the more emotional scenes? What about the scenes that are darker, that take place in, say, the fog or the TV world or near the end of the game? Are you able to capture the aesthetic that the original game and even Persona 4 Golden had? Are you able to capture that? Or at least try to put your own spin on it? Or do you just throw it to the wayside in the name of being more bright? We had this problem a bit when it came to Persona 3 Reload, where if you looked at a lot of the cutscenes between the original versions of Persona 3 with Reload, a lot of the stuff with, say, the Dark Hour or the beginning of the game, those big important cutscenes, the tone is a bit different. It's a bit off because of the artistic style that is going on with the newer game, making things arguably way too bright and arguably cheerful in comparison to how dark and macabre it used to be. And if you have played Persona 4 and you know this story and you know where it goes, you'll know that Persona 4 is a game of extremes. You go from having a campout session with the boys where Kanji's talking about wanting to find the penguin animal cracker, to an entire murder mystery of people dying because of being torn apart by shadows in the fog-ridden TV world. Or at least I guess they die when there's no fog in the TV world, if we want to be technical about it. But it's a game, essentially, that goes from comedic and upbeat and very bright and colorful to extremely dark and emotional. And I think what they showed is a good example of nailing the overall idea and aesthetic of those more upbeat parts. I need to see those darker, more emotional scenes and how they're handled here in Revival. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the name. A lot of people thought this game was going to be called Persona 4 Rewind because it was going to be a pun on something related to TVs. Well, I kind of think Revival's one of the better names they could have chosen. The problem with a name like Rewind or Rerun is that there's connotations with that nomenclature of it being repetitious, going backwards instead of forwards, and also being boring. But Revival has a more positive spin as like, hey guys, it's back! It's being brought back from the dead, because the name itself is also a TV reference. When a show was either cancelled or just hasn't been around for a while and is brought back, people tend to call that a revival. So you still get the effects of having a name related to TVs, but the name is a more positive spin on it. I like the name, but like, let's be fair here and let's be completely honest. Yeah, it was interesting, but in terms of will this game be good or not, the name itself is arguably at the bottom of that totem pole, if not, it's the dirt underneath it. And for only a 47-second trailer where quite a few of those seconds was just marketing, you know, either for disclaimers for ESRB, or saying you can wishlist it, or the name of Atlus and P Studios and the name of the game and stuff like that. In terms of actual substance in the trailer, we didn't actually see all that much. We saw the main street in the shopping center of Inaba. We saw the stack of TVs, we saw the classroom, we saw the lighting, and I think the lighting looks rather good here, by the way. We saw the shrine where you hang out with the fox, and you can catch bugs there. I think visually, I quite like what they have done here. It just will completely depend on, do they nail those more emotional scenes? And when they show the TVs, like glitching out and going dark, I like the effects that are going on. I think the game looks rather good. I think it's safe to say the model of Yu Narukami doesn't look complete. And to me, it's mostly just like the hair and the head itself. The rest of it looks rather good. I quite like how this game is looking. It's bright, it's colorful, and it's cheerful, and it gives that summer vibe that Persona 4 is supposed to have. Now, we don't know when this thing is actually out yet. That is something we are not aware of. However, on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, we did get some information about the game. One, it's not just coming to Xbox. We kind of surmised that before, but just as confirmation, if you want to know what it's coming to, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox PC, Xbox Cloud, PlayStation 5, and Steam. Important to note that there was no mention of Nintendo here. Maybe that comes down the line. Who knows? I'm kind of surprised it's not at least for, the Switch too. But it is on Xbox Game Pass. And there's also a brief message from the P Studio director, Kazuhisa Wada. It's mostly what you expect it to be, but we're gonna read it anyways. Persona 4 Revival. Hello, this is Wada from P Studio. We are very pleased to announce the release of Persona 4 Revival. We look forward to sharing even more information in due time. Persona 4 has spawned numerous spin-off works including TV anime, Persona 4 Arena, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and Persona 4 Dancing All Night, and is a special title that has been a part of Atlus for many years and holds a personal place in my heart. We are currently working on this project with all our passion and love. We are confident that this will be a fresh and surprising product for both newcomers and longtime fans, and we look forward to sharing it with you all. Interesting use of the word surprising, just something to note. Additionally, we are actively preparing for the future development of the Persona series as a studio, basically Persona 6. That's what I take out of that at least. We are working hard to meet the expectations of fans around the world, and our work is progressing well. Please stay tuned for more updates. We look forward to your continued support of the Persona series. P Studio Director Kazuhisa Wada. That sounds to me like that's a statement written to address any possible concerns about the whereabouts of Persona 6, which is a game we have been waiting for the longest time here, and they have not announced the thing. I kind of thought we were always going to get a Persona 4 remake. I just thought it was going to happen after Persona 6. But like doing Persona 4 remake, or now I guess revival, before Persona 6 made sense in my mind if a lot of the work was already done because of the work for Persona 3 Reload. I wasn't expecting it to look this visually distinct though. I kind of like it, don't get me wrong. It's just, this was such a short teaser that I want to see more, and it's hard to make an accurate judgment about the overall visual quality of Persona 4 Revival without seeing more. What we have seen, I like. I like all the TVs, I like the brightness and the colors of the overworld with Inaba. I really like those elements. What else do I want to see in Persona 4 Revival? Honestly, what I've talked about before. I want to see the dungeons get reworked. I don't know how much they would actually do that, considering the exact changes we got to Tartarus compared to the earlier versions of Tartarus. It wasn't enough to completely change my mind about that dungeon. I think for me, the worst element of Persona 4 has always been the dungeons. They're just kind of bland and dull, whereas I really like the combat and the story and everything else about the game. The dungeons were always a letdown, so if they could add some more variety, add some more interesting gameplay to happen and to take place during those dungeons, I think that can go an awful long way. And I think if we're going to cover the Marie stuff, I hope to God this has the golden story. I would like to see more scenes with Marie to better tie her in to the story on the whole, so that her story and her social links and the whole golden story doesn't feel as if it comes out of left field and then is completely ignored the moment it goes back to the original story. I would like some more connecting scenes, maybe some more events that integrate Marie better into the story on the whole with the cast of characters. I think that's one of Persona's strengths. But particularly Persona 4's strengths is the characters, so leading in that direction to bolster that element I think can go a long way. Maybe an easier way to track when side quests are available in Persona 4 that can sometimes be annoying to do, or at least determining when a new one is spawned. But Persona 4 is arguably my favorite Persona game, and there's not too much I would actually change about it when it comes to the characters and the overall pacing of the game, because I think that's one of Persona 4's greatest elements. You can always add like more comedic moments, I guess. Maybe a few more scenes with Adachi early on, or at least spread throughout the game. Maybe add the Beef Bowl girl from the anime and put those scenes into Revival. That could be really good because those scenes are really funny in the anime. I highly doubt this would happen, but maybe you could take the stories of, say, Persona 4 Arena and Arena Ultimax and have them as addendums at the end of Persona 4 Revival that utilize the combat in Persona 4 Revival instead of it becoming like a fighting game. Like, maybe you can go in that direction. I doubt that they would do that, but considering we had episode Igus for Persona 3 Reload, what could that extra thing be? That DLC, that expansion pack, what could that be for Persona 4 Revival? It could just be them taking the stories of the Arena games, retooling them to work with the combat system of Persona 4 Revival, and doing that. I wouldn't be particularly surprised. Maybe not on launch, but it would be interesting to see. Or maybe they just do a fighting game within the confines of Revival. Who knows? Those are unrealistic expectations, and I don't particularly think they would do that, but I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see some DLC for this thing at some point in the future. Let's talk about the music, because I love Persona 4's music. And in the Revival teaser trailer, I didn't notice any significant changes when it comes to the songs that were used. They sounded the same to me, but I don't have the best ear for this kind of stuff, so comment down below if you heard any actual differences. Look, I'm a big Persona 4 fan, and I get the concerns some people have that, is this really needed? Because you can make the argument, no, Golden is available on modern platforms, and Golden is an extremely good game. To me, the biggest selling point here, outside of just being able to relive Persona 4 again, would be if they make the dungeons way better than what they currently are. The biggest concern that I have isn't even that for Revival, it's the voice acting. Unless they just rip the voice acting from the original and they just don't add anything new, or the new stuff is silent, almost certainly they're going to have a new cast of voice actors, because a lot of the original voice actors came out and said before this game was even announced, they're not in it. I made a whole video about that, actually. And it's like, for me, one of the most iconic parts of this game is the voice acting. It was so dang good, and the execution was perfect, and the voices matched the characters, and I can't imagine those characters without those voices. A lot of the comedy came through, for me at least, because of the quality of the English dub. How many iconic lines of dialogue exist in Persona 4 because of how well executed the VO was? My child of the dragon! Pick a kanji line. And also, I guess, just pick a Chie line. Or a Yosuke line. See what I mean, though? My motorcycle! We got a guy half stuck in the TV here! It's like these lines stick with you because of how good the voice acting is. So completely changing it, I honestly am not envious of the new crew they probably got for Revival. Because those are big shoes to fill. Massive shoes. And I guess we'll see what happens. My biggest takeaway right now is we need more information, we need more trailers, and you know when we get them, I'll be right here to react and break them all down for you. And with that, I'll call the video there for the day. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts, your opinions, your impressions of Persona 4 Revival. Do you like the art style? Are you hesitant? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts and hear your opinions and hear your perspectives. Stay safe, have a great day, leave a like and subscribe if you liked the video and you want to see more content. I know I would appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in. Stay safe, have a great day. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Until we meet again.